In today's gospel, Jesus clarifies the parable of the sowing of the seeds. Now, for those of you that don't remember, in this parable, Jesus basically represents 4 scenarios or 4 seasons of life by using this analogy. Just a quick refresh. Season 1 or scenario 1, the seeds are sown on a path and they're trampled over. For Jesus, this represents when faith is received but is easily taken away because you're just not tuned into it or you're not open to receiving it. Season 2 is when the seeds fall upon jagged rocks. You receive the faith, however, as soon as something difficult happens in life, that faith quickly disappears or dissipates. Season 3 is when the seeds fall upon thorns or weeds, and the weeds choke them out. For Jesus, this season of life represents when one does receive faith and is open to the Word of God, but the lures of the world, the temptations of the world, quickly can take away that faith or diminish that faith. And finally, season 4 represents when someone receives the faith in fertile soil, and then that seed grows and multiplies. Similarly, analogous to faith, when someone who receives faith and hears the Word of God uses it to build up God's kingdom. Now, it's easy to think about ourselves as which do we fit in? But here's the reality. I think we all fit into these at different seasons in our lives. I know it's very difficult to always be at that level 4, where we're always producing fruits for God's kingdom. For me personally, I often find myself in between level 2 and level 3, the second and third scenario. I find it's really easy to be tempted by the lure of the world and forget about the gospel, make the gospel as secondary, make the Word of God secondary in my life. I know there's many temptations. For example, many years ago, when I got my first job, I was obsessed with getting a car. And that's all I could think about. All I could think about was buying my first car, whether I was at work, whether I was at home. That's the only thing that was on my mind. And everything else just seemed to kind of fade in to the background. So I think that's an example of how the lure of the world can distract us from our faith. So I think it's very important for us to be cognizant and check in with ourselves each and every day. Today, where am I at? Which level am I at? Am I in season 1? Can my faith easily be taken away today? Am I season 2? If something difficult happens today, am I going to doubt God's love for me? Am I in season 3? Can the lure of the world, can the temptation of the world diminish the faith in my life? Or am I in level 4 or season 4, where we all want to be at? Is God's kingdom being built up through my actions and words in this day?